Well, hello, dear friends. Here we are again. This is Sharon again. Say hi, Sharon. And I'm Steve. We had our first video yesterday that we did, our first edition, I guess you'd say, and really would love it if you went and checked it out. We were um, we started this as part of our journey. We came together and we both have the same heart of bringing the concept of the oneness of all of who we are for the purpose of bringing peace, love, encouragement, removal of all anxieties, fears, so on and so forth, like that, like it did for us. um, we're not here to say that we are any sort of your teacher or higher than you or anything of that nature like that. Certainly not. We're just here to express what our spirit has expressed through us, through our time, I guess, and our coming to the remembering of the oneness that we all are. And today, we would like to express that through showing, and Sharon and I both have been brought up or brought to this attention through the Bible, through Scripture. So we use Scripture of the Bible to show the expression of our spirit, that we are one. And today we're doing so by showing how God is omnipresent, is present through all things, and so on and so forth, like that. Won't get too far into it because we'll allow Scripture to kind of express it, and we'll also express it ourselves through how Scripture has touched us. Um, Sharon, we have a couple scriptures that we'd like to go to for that. There's a couple that have come to your heart to express. Could you send them out to us?
Yes, thank you, Steve. Okay, so as Steve said, our goal today is to share with you what we have found, what we have discovered is that God is literally everywhere, and that, you know, there is nowhere that you can say God is not. And I'm going to I found a few scriptures. I'm going to share three of them with you. The three are Colossians 1, verse 7, Colossians 3, verse 11, and Ephesians 4, verse 6. And I'm just going to quickly read those to you, and then we can expand on them a little more. So starting with Colossians 3, verse 11, it says, where there is neither Greek nor Jew, in our case, we can say black or white. So where there is neither Greek or Jew, circumcision or uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond or free, but Christ is in all, and Christ is all. Says it right there. Okay, the next scripture I'm going to read is Ephesians 4, verse 6. And that says, it says one God. There is one God who is the Father of all, who is above all and through all and in all. And remembering the previous scripture where it says Christ is all, not just in all, but is all. And the last one scripture I'm going to read is Colossians 3, verse 11. And that says, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And when you look up the word consist, it means made up of. So that is saying, essentially, we are made up of God's stuff. Whatever stuff God is made up of, that's what we're made up of. By him we consist. We consist of God. So, I'm going to turn it back over to Steve to share his thoughts on this, but I don't know how much or how many different ways to say just plainly that you are not separate from God. You cannot separate yourself from God no matter how you try, because you consist of God. Okay, Steve, take it away. I
Yeah, especially like Colossians 3:11, I think expresses it very well. Um, I know me. I know I like I was a Bible teacher, pastor of sorts, and I have to admit that I used to say, the truth is in you, but I can't really. That's basically what it's saying. It's like it's saying the truth is in you, meaning that it's somewhere. you, you can kind of find it, like you know
yeah.
uh
Is it in your tummy?
yeah, dig really deep there, it's in you. If you haven't found it yet, just keep on trying. you know like the religious person I was at that time was all about that. It was always try harder, find, go wherever you, yeah, no matter what you're doing, you got to pray hard, you got to do this hard, do this hard. And I love this truth, because when you take Colossians, yes, it says it's in you, but it also says it is all. It is all. And the other verse you said, it's through you. It's in you and through you. So what is the contrast? What do you mean in and through? Isn't
It's either
so
in or through.
shouldn't it be in or through? Right. So also in one of this one of these verses, I think it's Colossians 1, it talks about how we are enemies in our mind. And that is saying that all enemies are in our mind, because God is in us, through us, and is us. So if God is in us, through us, and in us, you are God, I am God. Everything that we see is God. Everything that is living is God. So then how is that in you? How is that not? How are we enemies in our minds, not knowing the in that is in us is in our minds? It says it's in our minds. So how is it in us? In our minds. So the knowing that all are the God, the Spirit, the source, however you want to express it. In Bible, quite often it says he, but it is fine. She, however you express it, the God is all of us. And that is how it is in us to know. It's in the knowing. It's in the
Yes,
knowing
it
that
is in
God
the
is
tummy.
all things. God is all things. And
Yes.
that truth is in us, was born in us. And I love the way you expressed it yesterday. And I really encourage you to check the video from yesterday, because it was wonderful. It was a lot about how we forgot this. Right?
Mm.
So that's how
Yeah.
when we talk about science or psychology. I've read a lot about psychology. When we forget something, that thing did not go away. That thing is still in us, our minds.
Yes.
We are just reprogramming ourselves to remember the very thing that was always there to begin with.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's how that's how we now and that's how I now understand in us. But when I was a Bible teacher, I never understood that way. You know, it was like you got to somehow figure it out. Although somehow, kind of, I did, because you got to figure it out. I did understand that it was mind, but what exactly was it that we were remembering? was the fact that we are all one. And that is the oneness that brings us the peace and the beauty and the love and all of those things.
Right. And what we're doing, or we're attempting to do on this, the Oneness Project channel, is to just expand on that "we are one" concept, because it is a popular phrase now being used. We're one, but I'm not convinced yet that it is being understood the way Steve and I understand it, to that degree. And this is the degree when you understand the oneness of all to this degree, you really diminish your stress, your anxiety. You increase your love for others.
Mm. Yeah. It leaves
You
you
know,
with no
judgment
choice.
goes away. Pardon?
Yeah. It leaves
Yeah,
you with no choice.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then the end result of that is you're more happy. You're more at peace.
Yeah.
So if you really want peace in the world, I would say this is one of the best ways I know to come to that, is to understand this message,
Mm-hmm.
the oneness message,
Yeah.
Because you would never want to hurt another, anything, deliberately or not, but especially deliberate hurt. You would never want to do that if you knew for sure that you're really literally hurting yourself.
Yeah. I remember when in the old way of understanding this, I used to be in awe of how Jesus did what he did on the cross.
Mhm.
And that was sort of like the good news, to be in awe of this other character that did something on the cross. But in actuality, the good news is you are the
You
Christ.
did it.
Hitler, we were talking about this yesterday, so I'm going to get right into it. The
Yeah.
greatest thing people always say when I say we are one, or that all are saved, salvation, or justified, or what have you, however you want to put it, is, well, what about Hitler? Well, God is in all things. So
Exactly.
guess where God was? In Hitler.
Yeah.
If Hitler knew that
If you were,
if
yeah.
Hitler knew that we were all the one God, that the Jewish individuals or whoever he was torturing were him, and he were them, would Hitler have acted in that way? Absolutely not. Most certainly not. It's impossible to act that way. Treat others as one as you would. Everybody knows that one. Treat others as you would have them treat yourself. Why? Treat others as they are yourself. And if the more this message goes out, the more this touches and it's in you. Faith comes from hearing. I believe that hearing this, people know, remember the truth that we are literally all one. Some of the things Jesus said, until you become like a child knows this. Scare a child when they're young and they look at you like you don't know what they're doing. Fear is not a concept to children. Like little babies, especially, as they're not afraid. They may be uncomfortable. They may be like having discomfort, but fear is not something we were. Fear is something that we became, not something that we are. We forgot there's nothing to fear because we are all one and all love each other. So when you think of Hitler or anything, like I think about some people in my life that maybe I might have my Hitlers, and I no longer have the Hitlers anymore because I know that they just haven't remembered yet. And it inspires me to do this. to help people remember that we are all one. And
Yeah.
that's what we're here. This is what my passion is now.
And it is mine too, Steve. And I encourage anyone who hears this message and gets it, share it with your neighbor. I mean, don't throw it down their throats if they're not interested, but use your voice, spread the word, because everyone needs to know this. It really will help them to not get to heaven. It just simply will help them to be more at peace. And we know, especially in these times, there is so much anxiety in the world, so much stress, and people need a message like this that can bring them comfort. So, do we have anything anything else we want to share on this episode? Or we
Well,
have some really interesting episodes coming up.
sure, we're going to expound upon this in many different ways. Um,
Yeah.
I you mentioned heaven. There's a lot of theories about the heaven or paradise, and I personally at this point I see it as here now, always in the now. The heaven is the eternal. Eternal has no time, so we are in the heaven. We are in the paradise here, in the knowing. Where the Gehenna is the things that create things that aren't what we are: fear, anxiety, all of those things like that. And the Jesus, which is us, tells us to cut those away, to remove anything that causes that. And the thing that removed the things that cause those in me, and believe me, they're still there. I'm not some divine, never get scared person over here. It's just lessening and burning away. There we go. We can do that. The burning away. It's burning away in me, knowing that all that I was afraid of is God. So, and God, there's no need to fear God. If one thing Jesus said more than anything else, fear not. Fear not. There's nothing to fear. So this removes anxieties from us. And if you have a truth that you would like to express about this program, love to hear it in the comment sections. Uh, don't be afraid. Do not fear to completely disagree with this or whatever. Express whatever it is on your heart in there. If you have more questions that maybe we can search with you for answers for, or whatever the case may be, we just we love to talk to anyone. I have plenty of time to make this discussion. Maybe you even want to come on the program, and we're not opposed to that as well. The whole point of this is to spread the oneness. So in any way Spirit is inspiring you to express it, please do. Um, Liking and sharing, apparently, and I love this idea that YouTube has an algorithm. The world we live in has algorithms of beauty, peace, love, and all of those things like that. So let's push this into the YouTube algorithm and subscribe, comment, share, all of those things. So more and more can grow in this peace. If you felt this peace as we're speaking today, please express it in the comment section and let more people know of that peace. Express if you've already come to this understanding, please express it in the comment section so more people can see the effect. I know me personally, everyone that I know that has been touched by this has been awakened, or I love that they use the word awakening. There's a generation now. I think is it the millennials that call, or is it the ones after the millennials that call themselves woke? Great,
No.
awesome, woke, awakening, remembering is what we like to call it. We are
Yeah.
remembering what we are, and to be awake, awakening means when we're sleeping, we don't remember often what we thought of while we were sleeping. So when we awake to what we were sleeping, we are remembering. And that's what our previous video was about. This video was about the fact that you and I, everyone, all the people you hate, all the people that hurt you, and I imagine that expression of hurt could be very deep and difficult. I know for me it certainly was, but God was there. God is in them. And maybe through this, those people, if they haven't already, can remember and turn that into something so beautiful. Any more you'd like to say, Sharon?
No, you said it all perfectly. You know, I'm just excited about sharing this message and look forward to things that we're going to be sharing in the future. There's so much to cover,
Yeah.
and please stay tuned. Subscribe to this channel
Yeah.
and hit even the notification so you can be notified. I don't know how often we're going to be posting. So far we've done it every day for the past 2 days, but it will be at least once a week, I'm sure, and
Oh,
probably more often. Yeah.
I would be probably very disappointed if I wasn't able to do more. At least I'd like to do it just about every day right now. And if you
Okay.
have anything you'd like us to express, or like you said, if you would like to be part of this expression, let us know. Um, let us know. But I think we've said it all today. The
Yeah.
only thing we haven't said is we love you. I love you so much, and deeper every day. If you'd like to become part of the deep love for each individual person as the Christ that is us expressed as us in our remembering at that time towards all people who were torturing and doing all of these things that are difficult to come to terms with. Come join us. Come join us. Have a
Yes.
great day. Lots of love to you.
Bye-bye.